Now, I'm happy to tell you, just for a funny story, a funny interlude, that 11 years ago, I used this very passport to travel to Paris, where I proposed to Julia, who is now my wife. Yeah. And just to back up a little bit, in the boys' seminar in here on Monday, we were asking the mega question, if you're a guy, how do you find the right girl? And just to back up even further, when I became a Christian, I had a Christian friend called Charles C.J. Davis who gave me some advice. He said, Adrian, there are two things that you need to look for when you're looking for a wife. She needs to be, firstly, a Christian, and secondly, a woman. So, taking C.J. Davis's advice, I went looking for one of those woman Christians. Is there a woman Christian over there? And that was C.J.'s advice. But you know what? C.J. Davis never told me about falling in love, because that's what happened to me next. I fell in love. And so 11 years ago, my dream was to marry Julia Brown. But my question was, why would she want to marry me? After all, I was 4.5 years older than her. I mean, don't you think that's a bit much? Yeah, exactly. Plus, all my friends told me that she was too good looking for me. And when I looked in the mirror, I realized they were right. And so it was that the first clue that Julia might possibly be interested in me was once when I was sitting next to her on the sofa, and there was a large group of people in the room, and I realized that her knee was touching mine. But of course, I just dismissed that as purely accidental knee contact. You know, the sort of slightly embarrassing accidental knee contact that must happen all the time when a girl finds herself sitting next to a guy that she doesn't actually fancy at all. And so I thought, well, any second now, Julia will realize that her knee is touching mine, a bit embarrassing, and she'll withdraw her knee. I have to tell you that 5 seconds passed and no such knee withdrawal took place. Oh, yeah. But then I thought, maybe the sofa is so small that Julia has been squashed into sustained knee contact against her will. But then I looked at the size of the sofa and I realized, no, there was enough space. And then I thought, maybe she's got like one of those medical conditions where you can't feel things. Maybe she's had a nerve cut in her right knee. Or maybe she has paralysis of the right knee. But I realized that was nonsense. And so it was. I realized that if her knee was still touching mine in 10 seconds' time, I would take that as official confirmation that she was interested in me. I have to stand here and tell you that 15 seconds later, her knee was still touching mine. Woo! And I realized that I had received a signal. Anyway, to cut a very long story short, sometime later I was ready to propose, and so it was in the summer of 1997. I hid in the bushes planning my first burglary. Oh yeah. My mission was to break into Julia's parents' house and steal her passport. Because, of course, my plan was to take her away for a surprise trip to Paris. And I thought maybe when we go on this surprise trip to Paris and then I propose, she might say yes in a sort of disorientated daze brought on by the excitement of international travel. So, I broke into our parents' house, I nicked her passport, we flew off to Paris, and in a restaurant called Le Table d'Hôte du Palais Royal, I got down on one knee, I said, "Will you marry me?" She said, "Yes." Big time. Nothing is impossible with God. Now, I know that's all very impressive. You can just call me, if you like, Captain Romance.